Growing carrots, Jacques, in the garden. One of my favorite crops, but honestly, annoying to get started.
Everyone seems to have their own secret little technique, whether it's using something like toilet paper or cornstarch. I like cardboard, but
we don't know which one's best until this video, because what we decided to do is pick the top 8 most popular recommended carrot germination methods and test them all out for you and honestly, for us. So before we unveil the secrets of these 8 methods, and there's some cool ones in there.
Yeah, I'm excited.
There are some reasons why your carrots won't germinate that has nothing to do with the technique that you use.
The first main thing that I really consider is the fact that they take up to 2 weeks or 14 days to germinate. That's a long time to keep that seed happy.
Yeah, and if it dries out even a single day during that process, they will die off and you won't get good germination. The other and a little bit less common reason is that carrot seed does go bad, like all seed over time. So if you've been keeping your seed for a couple years and you germinate and it's already a sensitive seed, it might just not have what it takes anymore. But there are some things you can do. So why don't we unveil the secret technique?
Yeah, let's do it.
With any good experiment, you have to have a control. And of course, this is a limited experiment, but we're doing our best here. So our control is just going to be making a slight furrow and planting the carrots about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch deep, and then covering it back up and watering it in. Nothing too fancy there.
Second thing we're going to try is covering it up with something like vermiculite. Vermiculate's really good at holding on to water and stopping that seed from drying out.
Method 3 is one that I think it might be both of our personal favorites, and that would be planting as you would normally, so 1/4 of an inch deep in a furrow and then covering it up, but you cover it up again with something a little more solid like a cardboard. The logic being it keeps that moisture trapped in, also keeps the light off the plant. The caveat being you have to check on it.
Now we're going to try a little bit of a weird one. This is a low-tech, fun method, and it's using radish seed. So you sow your carrots just like you normally would, and then you add a couple of radish seeds at the same time. The idea is that the radish germinates really fast in 3 to 4 days instead of 14, breaks up the soil, provides some shade, and allows those carrots to germinate even better.
Next one is something, honestly, all of us did probably in 3rd or 4th grade.
Yeah, that's right.
With a bean most of the time, but it's gonna be the pre-sprouting method. So you'll take a wet paper towel, spread some carrot seed on it, fold it over, put it in something like a Ziploc bag or Tupperware or something like that, and let it actually sprout until you can see that taproot come out, and then you'll manually place it into the row. So kind of solves the germination, hopefully, but a lot more labor intensive.
Now we're going to try something that I've always been curious about, which is essentially making your own seed tape. We're going to take a roll of toilet paper, make a slurry of flour and water, drip it onto toilet paper, put the seed at the exact spacing we want, and then bury that whole toilet paper in the ground. We're gonna get perfect carrot spacing, and the toilet paper is going to also act as some sort of sponge to hold water on the seed.
This next one's a little odd, but we're still going to try it. Basically what you do is you make a boiling cornstarch slurry. Once that cools down, you add your carrot seeds to it, put it in a Ziploc bag, cut off the tip, and then sort of squirt it in a row. I think the logic being you get decent spacing out of it, but it should also hold a lot more moisture.
Absolutely. Now this last one is kind of a simple method. All we're going to do is soak that carrot seed overnight, 24 hours, maybe even less, and then plant it. The idea is that hopefully the water will be able to get into the seed coat and it'll improve and speed up the germination.
And by the way, the carrots we're using are probably one of the most classic varieties out there, Danvers 126.
Oh, thank you.
So nothing fancy there. And then why are we doing it in tubs, Jacques?
That's to control the environment entirely.
Yeah.
No factors are different here. We could put this in a safe space and we'll get the exact same result.
Okay, Jacques, what is your verdict? And what is your verdict? Let us know down in the comments. But I'm leaning towards, honestly, I think one of these might be a sleeper winner because of that moisture retention. But I think you have a favorite.
Cardboard has always worked for me. I've done cardboard or just a wooden plank. Very reliable, but honestly, the toilet paper seed tape has me a little bit excited for that perfect space.
I'm enthused. So we'll get these in the ground and we'll come back once we start seeing initial sprouting. All right, Jacques, it's a new year, and I think we are at a conclusion point for our carrot germination experiment.
There's definitely some clear signs here.
For sure. Let's start with the worst first. So these two in the middle here, let's go with toilet paper first.
Wait, is there one?
There's not a single one.
Well, let's look for
I mean, maybe you could count this one right here. There's a tiny one.
Let's see if the TP's there.
Let's see if the toilet paper's even there.
It's gone. That's crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
Gone.
Toilet paper's gone.
I wonder if it actually rotted the seed.
It could have.
Rotting at the same time.
It could have. It could have just been far too moist.
That's crazy.
Which I think that's my guess.
Okay.
Okay, so toilet paper, look, is there a chance we could have not done it perfect? Yes, but this is so much worse than the other methods. Like, why even bother? It's more effort.
I feel like we did it right.
It's more effort.
Like
it's more effort. Now, this one is the most effort and the silliest. I'm gonna count a single carrot. Actually, sorry, two. 2 carrots out of the 20 seeds we planted. Remember, this was the cornstarch method where you mix that with, I believe, water, and then it's hot, and then you pipe it like a
weird goop.
It's disgusting, first of all, and it's just weird, and it's so much effort.
Yeah.
And you have to waste a plastic bag to do it. I don't understand it.
Two things we noticed on both the toilet paper and the cornstarch was that there seemed to be like mold growing from the surface.
On the top, yeah.
And I think maybe there was just like too much free.
I think it's the carbohydrates that are molding, basically. Yeah. Okay, so where do we want to go next, Jacques?
After that, I think maybe this guy might be the spottiest. Which one was that?
So this method was soaking the carrots overnight. Hopefully that sped up germination, and then they actually sprout quicker. Let's do a quick count here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 out of 20.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. That's 75%. So we'll keep that over there. I wouldn't be displeased with that, but you're still soaking it for a day.
Pick out each.
Then you have to pick it out.
Is that bad?
It's not bad. I mean, look, compared to these, it wins.
Yeah.
But again, we're thinking not only about germination, but we're thinking about effort. How much effort does it take? You don't want to do more work than you have to do. I'm curious now. Let's go to this guy here. This is one of the ones that you were excited about.
That's one that I thought would win because it's always worked for me, and it's the cardboard method. Now, if I come here and count, there's not much going on over here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So half, 50%.
Yeah.
So cardboard is so far second best.
Yeah.
But 50% germ is not great here. Why do we think that happened?
I honestly don't know why that one didn't work that well. In my experience, it's always done well. And in this case, there's something happened over here where there wasn't good germination, but the rest of it seemed okay. So
yeah. It's not the worst, but again, 50%, you might as well pre-soak at that point. But this effort, almost no effort.
Almost no effort.
Almost no effort.
Cardboard.
So we're gonna go over here to pre-sprout, which if you remember is taking a soaked paper towel, putting the seeds on there, letting them actually germinate. So you see that little radicle or that taproot come out, and then you transplant. So that's high effort.
Yeah.
High effort.
It ended up with 11 carrots making it.
So it's not worth it.
It's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed.
It should be guaranteed if you're doing that.
In my opinion, you should get a 20 out of 20, assuming the seeds are actually viable themselves, which these all were. Okay, so far, our soak method is winning at 75% germ.
Not bad.
I'm now curious to go over to the radish method.
I am extremely curious about this one as well. The idea is that the radish breaks up the soil, makes it easier for the carrot to come up, and it also shades it, which should help, similar to the cardboard.
Should slightly help. So what I think we do is we pull the radish, and then we count the carrots.
Yeah.
And the radish themselves,
they're growing.
I mean, there is a little radish right here, if you can call that a...
So 1, 2, 3...
I call that an infant radish. It's not really a baby even. I will say, like,
7.
Pulling the radish though, Jacques, does disrupt the soil more than I would have hoped.
Yeah.
You got to really be careful about that.
But I guess the idea is like the radish would grow for like another 2 weeks. Hopefully the carrot would be seeded by then.
Yeah. But if you get a germ, like look, I got a germ right next to it. It just pulled the carrot out, you know what I mean?
All right, we'll count that one anyway.
We'll count it.
Oh, 15.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
So we're tied now with the radish and the soak method.
And this one gives you an extra harvest.
You get an extra harvest. So to me already, this is the best so far because there's no soaking involved. So that's pretty good. Okay.
I always love getting more food out of the same space.
Now we've got to go with the covered method, which is basically just normal method, but putting a little vermiculite on top to give a moisture seal effectively. How many we got?
10 again.
That's 10.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know.
Huh.
I think we're gonna get disrespected here by our last result.
Yeah, I think we are. So if you know, we save the best for last or the most boring for last, which is our control. So our control, Jacques, give me a count here.
19.
19 out of 20. 19 out of 20. And every time we do an experiment, Jacques, we tend to find that the simpler you do things, the more predictable the result.
This took no extra work, zero.
No extra work.
Crazy.
So I would even hazard to say that if that was 75% germ, I would still choose that because there's no extra work compared to this or even this. Now the radish one, I get it. You get an extra harvest. For me, I got space. I'm gonna put them not in the same row. Go ahead.
Only caveat here would be that if you were to sow the carrots in like summer or when it's a little bit warmer to try to get like a fall harvest, things like the cardboard or the radish are probably going to start edging out.
Yeah.
Just a simple control.
I would actually say that the covered or the cardboard, which are two different versions of covering, or even the radish, or frankly, even the soak, because then you skip a little bit of that germ, that would probably work in warmer temperatures, or maybe if you don't have the ability to keep it moist perfectly. But again, this proves to us at least in a simple backyard N of 1 experiment, we're not running a double-blind control here, that keeping it simple tends to be the way to go in the garden. You don't have to overcomplicate things. It always feels like you need to do so much to grow the plant. The truth is the plants tend to grow themselves. You need to give them the right environment, and that's pretty much your job. And then you kind of wipe your hands clean and let nature do the work here.
Honestly, pretty interesting though. I definitely am never gonna bother with this, the cornstarch or the it's just not worth any of the effort.
No.
The pre-sprouted, not worth the effort for such a tiny seed.
You gotta prick it. You gotta prick it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I agree. Soak, cardboard, radish covered, and just planting the seed. Those are the only ones I would really recommend.
Good luck with your carrots this season, guys. If you want awesome carrot varieties, we do carry them at botanicalinterest.com. We have tons of cool ones. We did use the Danvers 126 for this because it's the most classic, but you can browse all of those and let us know what you think in the comments. Did we do a good experiment or are we an epic fail? Good luck in the garden and keep on growing.